I think it must be noted that ever since Emerson Mnangagwa, came through as the president, he has actually, lowered significantly the bar of the judiciary system in Zimbabwe in terms of poor delivery of judgments that are politically motivated and one-sided. The judiciary of Zimbabwe has been a laughing stock, not only in Zimbabwe but to the entire African continent and the world. And thanks to Emerson Mnangagwa. Recently, Malaba, who is the current Chief Justice of Zimbabwe, expected to resign in a few months to come from now, but we wait to see whether Emerson Mnangagwa will shield him, because the last time he shielded him and bended the constitution to allow Justice Malaba to continue as the Chief Justice of Zimbabwe, unconstitutionally so. These were the first signs to demonstrate that Emerson Mnangagwa is indeed a constitutional delinquent. In exchange, we saw Justice Luke Malaba actually defending Emerson Mnangagwa when he lost elections in 2018, and there was no energy to challenge poorly done elections in 2023. Now, he made a claim that there is a shortage of judges in Zimbabwe, something that one of the top lawyers in Zimbabwe, Lovemore Madhuku, has rejected. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, Law Professor Lovemore Madhuku has rejected Chief Justice Luke Malaba's claim that staff shortages are crippling Zimbabwe's justice system, arguing instead that deep-seated procedural inefficiencies, not a lack of judges or magistrates, are the real cause of delays in the courts. Madhuku said while the judiciary has made measurable progress in delivering judgments, particularly through electronic platforms, the narrative that Zimbabwe suffers from an acute shortage of judiciary officers is misplaced. He is quoted saying this: for a population of about 16 million, the number of judges is actually quite significant. Madhuku said, I do not agree that we have too few judges, that we have not fundamentally changed. It was the court procedures, which are inherently slow. His remarks place him at odds with Malaba, who on Monday warned that an untenable situation had emerged due to shortages of judges, magistrates, and support staff, saying the judiciary's constitutional mandate was under threat unless staffing levels were dramatically increased. Speaking after the official opening of the 2026 legal year, Madhuku acknowledged improvements in the timelines of judgments. In the past, you could wait for a year or even 2 years before a judgment was delivered. Although there are still a few instances like that, there is now greater realization within the system that judgments must be delivered timelessly, he said. However, he cautioned against assuming that technology or staffing alone could cure systematic delays, pointing to persistent problems with the integrated electronic case management system. The IECMS is still problematic because many people face serious network challenges. More importantly, during virtual hearings, there are frequent interruptions. It is common to have 2 or 3 disconnections in a single session, said Madhuku. He said such disruptions often push litigants and lawyers to prefer physical hearings despite the convenience of digital platforms. Everyone gets frustrated. You end up asking parties where they are and how far they are from court, while the system is a good step and should be maintained. It still needs serious improvements, he said. Madhuku also stressed that physical court hearings remain critical to public confidence in the justice system. There is something important about the public seeing justice being done in a physical courtroom. That element still matters, he said. But his sharpest criticism was reserved for court procedures, which he said waste judicial time and slow down case resolution, regardless of how many judges are appointed. In the High Court, for example, a lawyer may be allowed to speak for an hour when what they are saying could be said in 15 minutes. Then the opposing lawyer speak for another hour, Madhuku said. By contrast, he said the Supreme Court's strict time limits promote efficiency. When you go to the Supreme Court, they tell you that you have 15 minutes. If you need more time, you ask for it, and maybe you get another 5 minutes. That discipline forces efficiency, he said. Madhuku said unless court procedures are overhauled, adding more judges or rolling out technology will have limited impact. That is where the real problem lies. The delays are not mainly about staffing levels or technology. They are about inefficient procedures, he said. Malaba, addressing the same legal year opening, painted a starkly different picture, saying Zimbabwe's entire justice system was being carried by just 8 judges and 250 magistrates, a figure he said was inadequate given rising litigation. The number of judges and magistrates in post must be dramatically increased in the judiciary if the judiciary is to continue performing its constitutional mandate, Malaba said. Deputy Chief Justice Elizabeth echoed the concern, warning that judges were operating under unbearable pressure that could affect both the quality of justice and their health. But Madhuku maintained that without procedural reform, the staffing debate risks missing the point. If we do not fix how cases are handled, we will continue to move slow, no matter how many judges we appoint, he said. That is Lovemore Madhuku arguing with the current Chief Justice as well as the Deputy Chief Justice over the concern of shortages of judges and magistrates across Zimbabwe. In a population of roughly 16 million, we've got about 80 judges and 250 magistrates. I think that's too much. That can actually, if ever issues that have been raised partly by Lovemore Madhuku can also be taken into consideration. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support us by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars.